Hello everyone. Today we will talk about a Greek mathematician, and I choose to talk about Pythagoras of Samos. Pythagoras is considered to be one of the most influential Greek mathematicians of all time. He is well known for his famous theorem, to which he got his name, Pythagorean theorem. According to many books and resources, Pythagoras was born in 580 BC on the island of Samos, and he died in 500 BC in Metapontum in Italy. His father's name is Nisarchus, who was a merchant from Tyre, Lebanon, and Pythagoras married Theona, who was a philosopher and perhaps a teacher of mathematics at a school in her hometown, Crotona. According to some references, Pythagoras has one son, Telegus, and three daughters, Arignode, Maya, and Demo. Pythagoras spent his childhood in Samos. After a few years, he started to take trips with his father to Tyre, where he began to meet scholars and study from them. Pythagoras then traveled to Miletus, where he met his most influential teacher, Thales, another Greek mathematician and astronomist. Pythagoras then became interested in mathematics and science. In 535 BC, Pythagoras moved to Egypt, where he learned about mathematics and religions. In 525 BC, Pythagoras was taken as prisoner to Babylon, where Persians conquered Egypt. But Pythagoras didn't miss the chance of being captured and associated himself to Persians, where he studied mathematics and music. He returned to Samos, where he establishes his school that he named after him, the Pythagoras School. Some historians claim that his school was called the Semicircle. There, he taught mathematics, religion, music, astronomy, and philosophy to his students and followers, who later became known as the Pythagoreans. Pythagoras didn't commit any of his teachings to writing. He was transmitting his views and ideas by word of mouth. The members of the Pythagorean community swore of a symbol called tetractys, or holy fourfoldness, which stands for the four elements: fire, water, air, and earth. This symbol was represented by an equilateral triangle consisting of 10 dots arranged in 4 rows of 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pythagoras' most contribution to the field of mathematics was the theorem known as the Pythagorean theorem that we study in the middle school. The famous expression a squared plus b squared equals c squared talks about lengths of the sides of a right triangle. However, its definition of the Greeks is quite different, as they defined it as the area of square built upon the hypotenuse of a right triangle is equal to the sum of the areas of the squares upon the other sides of that triangle. It was said that when Pythagoras discovered his theorem, he offered a sacrifice of 100 oxen to the Muses, although this story is quite incredible because the rituals of the Pythagorean forbid any sacrifice which blood would be shed. Most of Pythagorean's contributions, either in mathematics or philosophy, were completed and taught by the members of the Pythagorean community, or simply known as the Pythagoreans. Some of the things the Pythagorean believed in is what is known as number mysticism, which means that numbers represent the final matter of real things rather than just symbols. For example, they refer 1 as the point, 2 as the line, 3 as the surface, and 4 as the solid. Another great contribution of Pythagorean was the discovery of irrational numbers that led the whole Pythagorean school to a real crisis, especially when dealing with ratios of the line segments and the incommensurable quantity of square root of 2 that cannot be expressed as the quotient of two integers. Pythagoras contributed in the construction of different geometrical figures and also studied triangle numbers and perfect numbers and solved various equations using geometry and many more. Pythagoras will always be remembered for his theorem that is one of the most powerful formulas of mathematics. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching and see you in the next